So when I first felt like God was calling me to start a church in downtown Tallahassee, my question was why? I remember sitting on my front porch and thinking, God, why? Why would you ask me to start a church? Why would you call me to start a church in a city that has tons of churches, church on every corner? The last thing that Tallahassee needs is another church. There's churches that teach the Bible well. There's churches that love people well. There's churches that reach out to people well. And so why? Why Tallahassee? And I remember very clearly God saying to me, Ben, I want you to start a church that does everything well. I want you to be a church that reaches people who are far from God, who are disenfranchised, who are just completely against or just moderately opposed to church. And then I want you to take people who come to know me, and I want you to help them to know me better and do a great job of discipling. I want you to be a church with not just a lot of width, but a lot of depth as well. And so we wanted to do that, and then at the same time, a church that loved people. And when they loved people, they didn't just love people who looked like them and who act like them and who dressed like them, but they loved people who were nothing like them. That we would love people who are poor. We would love people who are homeless. We would love people who are dirty. We would love people who in the world's eyes are the least of these, who in God's eyes are the greatest of these. We would love the single mom. We would love the orphan. We would love the widow. We would love the prostitute. I mean, it would just be a church that took people that society pushed away and embraced and said, man, we just want you to know that God loves you and that we love you because how much God loves us. And so it was with all those thoughts circling around that through months of prayer and months of discernment, we decided to launch Downtown Community Church. And so we started in August of 2011 as a Bible study in Frenchtown in Tallahassee at a little church called Grace Mission Church.
For me, DCC was exciting from the first time I heard about it. I'd worked with Ben at a youth group in Tallahassee called The Lakes. And we've been there for years together, and he felt that calling in his life to start a church. And from the moment he started to talk about it, it seemed very interesting to me. I've spent my entire adult life as a police officer in this city. So I know more than most people the kind of need that's around here, the need from everybody, from the homeless, from the poor areas of town, from the inner city to the college kids. I've seen the hurt in this city. I've seen the pain in it. And this was a church that was started to go after directly addressing that hurt, to addressing those people. And it wasn't somebody starting a church just because they felt like they were going to be really good at it. It wasn't somebody starting a church and trying to get a congregation together because they had a lot of ambition. It was a church started specifically to reach out to those people in this city that are in pain, that are hurting, and that need help.
We started to attend DCC back in August of 2011, shortly after we got married. And we spent about a year attending on a regular basis. Then DCC moved from Monday nights at Grace Mission to Sunday nights at the Mary Brogan Museum. And for us, that was a really big decision to make because we were working with a youth group in Crawfordville at the time that was also on Sunday night. So we prayed and we kind of talked it over, and after a few weeks we decided that DCC was our home church and where we felt called to be.
Really from the very beginning we felt this just genuine sense of community, getting to pray with each other and learn about each other's lives in the church setting. And that led to community outreach, and I got heavily involved in discipleship with the leadership team, and it just really gave us an opportunity for God to stretch us and help us to grow in our walk.
So when we were meeting at Grace Mission, we just continued to grow, and we grew and grew and grew, and it became apparent that we needed to move to a place that could hold more people. Our problem is we were a growing church, but a church with almost no money, looking to have a church at a place that was probably the most expensive place in town to have church, which is downtown. And so we started to pray, and we prayed that God would open a door. And eventually, through a lot of prayer and a lot of talks with people, He opened the opportunity for us to have church on the 3rd floor of the Mary Brogan Museum.
When Ben first came and talked to me about starting this church, we'd been friends for a long time, and I thought he was pretty crazy for thinking of it. But over probably the first year that DCC had started, I was just continually praying about if I should be involved. In the back of my mind, I always knew that is something that I feel like the Lord was eventually going to lead me and my wife to. And as I slowly got involved, with helping out with music or just being involved with outreaches, that it just became clear that it was a place where we felt comfortable, that we found community, and that we grew spiritually, and a place that we really just fell in love with.
I began going to DCC when it was meeting at Grace Mission, but in this season of the church when it was at the Mary Brogan, I really feel like I was able to call it my home. I love DCC because of the source of clarity and conviction that it's been in my life, and I value that so much, and I feel like it was a huge and is a huge part of my growth. And not only that, but I love DCC because of the source of comfort and just honest friendship and community that I've found with the other people who go there who are wanting the same thing I am.
We've been going to DCC for about a year now. After we got married, we wanted to look for a new church that'd be good for both of us to go to together and grow in our faith. We went around Tallahassee to several churches just to check them out and see where God was leading us. Ultimately, we felt called to go to DCC.
After going to DCC a few times, we really felt like the heart of the church was focused outward, was focused on the community, and that was something that as a couple and as individuals, Jeff and I really felt called to. We got involved in a community group, and that has helped us grow in our personal relationships with the Lord, and as a married couple, just tremendously. We are so thankful for the community outreaches and just the focus of the church on loving Jesus, making disciples, and being great neighbors.
Well, I started going to DCC because I first started going at Grace a few times, but what brought me there was I was in a big slump. And I went to youth with Ben and a lot of those people, and the people that were there were still at it. So I wanted to get back in it, and I wanted to grow. I wanted to grow closer to God, and I was definitely in need in my life, so that brought me there. And I just kept going, kept growing, kept being involved, kept getting in the Word, and the community really kept me there. I could really feel God working in us and through us, kind of together, like not as an analogy, like truly in kind of reality. And ever since then, I just kept wanting to be part of it.
While we were at the Brogan, they let us know that in a couple weeks you need to find a new place to have church. And for us, we were frantic saying, where are we going to find church? Where are we going to have church? Where's our new location going to be? And thankfully, the Civic Center opened up. And so now we meet here, and what we know is that we need a place that's ours. We need a place that we can not just have church on Sunday, but have a community presence Monday through Saturday, a place that we can do outreaches in, a place that we can have our youth group, a place where we can be a church in a community. And God has provided for us this warehouse space.
When we talk about just the potential that this new warehouse has, it's just very exciting just to think about how much we've grown just in the past year that I've been a part of this church, and to see, to finally have a place that we can call home, and that we can reach the lost. It's been awesome to see the growth over the past year of not just people that are involved in a church, but people that are unchurched and people that have been hurt, growing up in the church and coming back to Jesus, and to seeing just the growth that happens there and the potential of this new warehouse to reach even more people on the campuses and the downtown areas. Very exciting.
We are so excited about the move into the new warehouse space. God has provided us with just the perfect place to go to be all week long and to have a home base for different community events and ways in which we can bless the people around us.
This warehouse is a great location for where we feel called to minister to our city. It's right near the college campuses, so we can tell college students about Jesus and he can change their lives. It's also located on the south side of downtown, so it's a great place to reach out to the marginalized in Tallahassee. Also, it'll be a permanent location we can hold our youth group. it'll be great to have a space to have youth group every week. Also, we haven't had a solid place to have band practice in for a long time, so I'm excited about that. We're just excited about this new location and can't wait to see what God's going to do there.
Being a children's minister here at DCC, I'm really excited for this new building. Really just based off the fact that the past 2 locations that we've been at and the current one that we're at, we've never really had a place for the kids. At the Brogan, we were kind of in this room, but really we weren't able to do much with it. At the Civic Center, we don't even have a room. We're in a hallway. But at this new building, we're gonna have a room, one for children's ministry and a separate one for the nursery, and it's gonna be awesome because we're gonna have just this area where we can really just facilitate their relationship with God and help them grow on a week-to-week basis in their relationship with God. And just to see that growth happen in kids and then them grow up to be adults just like we all have, it's going to be an awesome thing to witness. And I'm really excited about it. And if I'm being honest, I think it's going to bring a lot of fruit to this ministry.
So think about everything that DCC's done in the past. Think about the work that's been done through Love at Work. Think of the Project Backyards, all the work that's been done. Everybody that's been reached out to, everybody that's been loved. If you're watching this video, you're one of those people. You've been reached out to somehow through Downtown Community Church. And this is all a church that doesn't have a place. We've never had a place that was really ours. We're renting somebody else's place, using somebody else's space. Imagine a building that's Downtown Community Church. It's our space. It's where we go to worship. It's where we go to meet. We can have meetings there. We can have worship nights there. We can have share nights there. We can have collections there to go out and feed the hungry, to take things to the poor. Imagine that place, that one particular place that's all ours, that belongs to God, for Him to use. What a wonderful tool for Him to have.
We're excited about this opportunity with our warehouse space, and we really feel confident that God's going to provide for us as He's done so well so far. And so what we're asking you to do is to partner with us. Partner with us in our building, partner with us in life change, partner with us in our mission to reach our city for Jesus, to be a community of people that loves God, that loves people, and are great neighbors. And so we thank you for your prayers, we thank you for your support, and we thank you for everything that you've given so far.